your choices reflect your hopes, not your fears. I've chosen these inspirational words by Nelson Mandela to begin this session where I'll be discussing personal and professional development and how we can leverage opportunities while balancing these two words. To start, I'm going to talk about my personal words, sharing a little bit about my personal life. When I was a college student, years into a degree in system engineering, I started feeling unmotivated. I had no real answer as to why I was there or why I was studying this career. So I decided to forego a core class, thus postponing my degree, to take an elective. I just had a hunch that this class in software engineering could determine my future, and in fact, it marked a turning point in my life. I discovered my passion, the different stages of the software lifecycle. And that's when I said, this is what I want to do. Why I'm sharing this story? Because it tells you a little bit about how I look at opportunity and about the challenges that can appear on your path. And most importantly, it's about a woman coming into her own into the tech world, which is a topic I want to explore in this session. I invite you to ask yourself, what do you want to be? And coming back to Mandela, what choices will you make and how will you position yourself to get there? Let's start with a question. When do opportunities appear? Oftentimes, we hear about someone getting lucky, knowing the right person, or being particularly clever or skilled. I'm going to talk about perseverance, about patience, and about a constant search. I am convinced that we need to go out looking for opportunities. In my case, after taking that elective course, I finished my degree and went out looking for precisely the job I wanted to do. I started out as a programmer, later I became a programming analyst, and finally a business analyst. I found my path and joined Globant about 11 years ago. The bottom line here is that if you are doing something you don't find motivating, you need to be patient and keep searching. Globant has 40 studios now. That means that the field of technology is broad, but you have to find a place within tech to make you happy. Personally, I was happy talking to clients, I'm a good listener, and I received both positive and negative feedback about projects before translating that into concrete action for the team. That is the key of the opportunity, being proactive. So, how do I stay proactive? I always say introspection is key. I constantly ask myself, I am happy? Do I feel recognized? Do I like what I do? How can I use my strengths to add even more value? Adding value is the true secret to personal and professional development. I always felt comfortable approaching my leaders and making myself available to help with any project where I could add value. And that speaks of continuous search. But the career is like life itself. The conditions are not always ideal. When I got pregnant with my first child, I had mixed feelings. I held a leadership role and I was scared I may lose my place. I was fearful, insecure, I could be out of office for 4 months. And I wonder, will they still need me? No one is irreplaceable, and that solves that. I worked until the final weeks of my pregnancy, and then I had to reconfigure my work life. Starting then, balance was essential for me to continue adding value. So maintaining my goal now entailed a new challenge because I had another priority in my life. I remember contacting my team once a month to make sure that everything was going well. I'm sharing this part of the story because I think it ties into being a leader. Leadership, or the value of leadership, is directly related to how you put together a team so that they can thrive even when you are away. In other words, I firmly believe that if I don't help my team members to be leaders, I come up short as a leader. Being a leader means training others on your team to be leaders as well. And in that regard, I feel like I was able to put together teams that thrive while I was away, teams that I can rely on. Today, I'm proud to depend on the team that I trained to be able to replace me when I couldn't be there. I believe this is the path forward because it creates tremendous potential. I am not just a leader. I am also a woman, and this is directly related with the question I asked earlier. What do I want to do? What do I want to be? I am a woman in the field of technology. So, carving out a place for myself was hard. Look at my story. The uncertainties while I was working toward my degree. My fears when I got pregnant. The challenges I faced as a project leader. And yet, always garner something positive out of this situation. Because returning to that quote from the beginning, it is our choices that tell us what we are like, and we are much better off if those reflect our hopes, not our fears. Wouldn't you agree? To sum things up, I believe there is a way out of being self-critical, fearful, and uncertain about what's to come, and it's taking a proactive approach. And let me say one more thing. Just when settling in, feeling like you've got things under control with a solid life-work balance, things can change. When I got pregnant with my second child, I remembered the experiences of my first pregnancy. I knew how to balance life and motherhood, and I didn't experience that fear or uncertainty. But when I came back to work, the project team was restructured and my position as such was diluted. And that was distressing. I was a bit upset, to be honest. I spoke with my mentor, and people surrounding me told me not to worry about it, and something even better will come along. So I reworked my attitude, focusing on how to add value again. I gradually developed something better for me, building a path to a role as a tech partner for Globant Europe. The first big project was tied into designing the career path of the business and product manager. I was part of the product studio creation, working on the value proposition, main practices, skills, and training. I believe that laid groundwork from what I'm doing today as a tech partner. My second project was even more challenging because I was part of the augmented Globant team that implemented a digital transformation inside the Globant processes. I was the product lead of the augmented career path team, and we created the MyGrowth product with the main goal to give the Globers the autonomy in their career path decisions, providing them multiple opportunities to grow, supported by artificial intelligence. Now, MyGrowth has more than 14,000 users. I am very proud of it. And here, I like to tie in another concept that is vital for the development of any collaborator, any person really. It's key to have someone who's with you on the journey, a sort of a sponsor within the company. It's key to have someone who can support you and give you opportunities, and for you to do the same with those whom you mentor. Basically, it's about leveraging opportunities and learning to generate them. So that is my path in a nutshell. It has the ups and downs of any career. I feel I am where I want to be today, leading projects I am passionate about, because I always added value, sought out opportunities, and had support from others. That's a good way of summing it up. Now, I connected to the universities, institutes, and other organizations that train future Globers. Obviously, that's connected to the business because the search for talent and the training of the talent means ensuring that we all have the vision the business needs. Now, I'm part of the Europe Talent Development Center, where we organize activities in different pods. Each pod has goal KPIs, and we plan a diverse of initiatives related to employer branding to connect with tech communities and educational entities, talent growth to provide awareness about all the tools related to career development, and then training and certifications to tackle the upskilling and reskilling strategies. In closing, if I had one tip to give you, it could be trust in yourself, trust in the work you do, empower yourself, recognize your strengths and know how to add value with them while also learning and acknowledging the work of other team members. Sometimes it's the woman herself who brings in the bias unconsciously due to the cultural practices or the social context. That's why it's good to recognize our fortes, while also improving where we can. And above all, stay close to people who can learn from. It may not always be a leader. It could be someone from your team, someone you lead, who has someone to teach you. That's why humility is a wonderful guide. As women, being who we dream of being is up to us. It depends on working to stay motivated about what we are doing. Let's add value to what we do. That will help us grow, even at times of doubt and uncertainty. Thank you.